Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Keepers League 3.27. In this episode, I have a new farm again. So I'd like to actually first start it off though with why I changed the farm. What changed? Basically, I was using Elder Scarabs like the whole season, and T17s are somewhat new to me. I mostly was running T16, but yeah, when you run T16s, you get Elder Portals and the Unstable Tentacle Fiends, and you can drop influence items of Elder, but Exalted Orb. But when you put it on a T17, I started to notice that there's no Elder Portals because it's pretty obvious when you're not seeing them. And then I knew that I could still get Unstable Tentacle Fiends because of the map mod that was making them do the big circle that kills you. But and you could still drop Elder Influence items because of the Elder Scarab, but for some reason you weren't getting the portals, and I couldn't figure out why. But apparently you can't add things that spawn monsters like later or something. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense because the altars work and all these other things work like the league mechanic. I got a devouring from the map boss. So then yeah, apparently Elder Scarabs just don't work on T17s properly, and it was after I tried a Shaper Scarab to confirm I wasn't getting any of the Shaper spawns either, and I was like, what? This actually makes no sense, but apparently it just doesn't work. So then, without running an Elder Scarab, you have a whole extra Scarab, and then it made me think, what if I ran Adversaries to get 4 packs of Mirrored Rares? So I started running Adversaries, and then so we have 8 additional packs with mirrored rare monsters, 1 monstrous lineage for the 40% increased magic pack size, hunted traitors, and then influencing Scarab of Hordes. So the influencing Scarab of Hordes isn't for the Elder, it's just for the Eater of Worlds, basically. So you get 40 pack size of the influence pack, and then the extra pack size from the Eater stuff on the tree. So then this farm got way cooler because you'll actually notice rares that are doubled. They're just, instead of 1 rare, there's 2. So then it made me start questioning like how the packs even work, because you normally would think of a pack as a group of monsters, but apparently the pack could be like spread out across the map, and then it just is the rares on the map get doubled basically. Not all of them, but most of them get doubled, which is pretty crazy and really fun and quite rewarding. And also, especially when the Scarab I was using wasn't even working on specifically T17s. So it's just a buff. It's just extra rares, extra monsters, more loot. And so our farm got even better. Our farm got even more rewarding. Uh, we were actually printing even more. And then, like I say, just extra rares. It even buffs the league mechanic by doubling rares. It doesn't seem to double the rares that spawn at the end of the Unstable Breach, for example. Once you stabilize, you get 4 rares, or you get Varun, the boss. It doesn't double those. You still get 4 rares, so that's weird. But then, yeah, you could still run 2 Monstrous Lineage and then 1 Adversaries, but the Adversaries was cheap. That you could get like 4 for 1 Chaos, which is insane. So then when I do trades, I pause the recording, and I was storing all the loot in this one tab broken, and yeah, you could see it throughout the vid build up, and I wasn't even going the fastest you possibly could for this farm either. Second thing to mention is I started, when I'm looking for T17s, I started always going for 2 mods, always, 1 of 2. Either more Scarabs or more currency. More Scarabs costs more on average than the more currency. It's more popular. That's why I made the more Scarab video first, the 74% more Scarabs. But there's also more currency, and more currency is pretty good too, because you get a lot more X and Divines and Valdo's puzzle boxes, all these currency items. It's really sick. It's fun chasing a mirror, even though I haven't got one yet. if I get one, dude, yo, it was at 100% more currency, you know what I mean? And then some people have been asking me like how I regex my maps. I don't roll them myself. I buy them from trade. And then like I say, now I actually prioritize going for the more currency or the more scarabs. If the more scarabs is the same price or cheaper, you should obviously do the scarabs because people value it more, and then I do more currency. You could do more maps, but I find that I'm doing singular focus, and then I don't care about getting more dunes, and it could make more that could then convert, but I'm not sure how that works. I feel like the more maps would work on actually keeping the maps, but then I convert them, so I'm not sure how that works. Like, does the more currency scale or does the more maps? And then it's not really the most fun thing, especially since you're not even farming T17s from your T17, and then it would just be for like originator dunes, for example, which are only like 12C, so they're not really exciting. That's why I mostly was going for more scarabs or more currency, because when you get those nice scarabs, awakening, preservation, bloodlines, there's pandemonium, there's like really good scarabs worth a lot, and then you get more of them, you're getting so many, you really notice it. And same with the more currency, you really notice the more currency. So these mods are really fun and rewarding, and the mods you have to run these are quite good. So I would run those as my priority. And then then people ask about the regex. So it's like, what mods do I skip? Well, that's build specific. It depends on what you think, what you want, and then really some of them are just personal preference, my own annoyance, not even that they're actually like you need to skip them. That's why I haven't really worried about it, because I also figure my farm could be used in general. It doesn't have to be for specifically someone playing my build. It's just a farm in general, and then they're going to have different priorities of what they want to skip. But some of the like obvious stuff is I didn't want the cannot regen. I don't like the removing 5% of life on hit, because if your minions get hit like 20 times, they just die, and it's not very fun respawning your stuff. Let's be honest. So lots of the crazy giga damage mods I remove, but then I keep most mods. I don't really worry too much, which then I get cheaper maps. Some of them might be a little annoying to run, but it's fine. And that's where I go, like, it's personal preference of like the mods you skip, unless you're exactly my build. And then some of them you don't have to skip, like I said, but I skip them because I found them to be annoying myself. But you may not find them annoying. It really depends what you prioritize. A lot of my stuff is I want to be able to AFK, so that I want to be able to survive without moving, which most people don't care about, to be honest. And then it's just a waste, because then I spend too much time and focus on stuff that other people don't relate to. But yeah, this farm is actually crazy, and like I say, the more currency, more scarab mods on the maps actually make such a huge diff. And then yeah, I started doing the league mechanic. If you haven't seen it, I have the new graft video. I highly recommend it, where I get the increased chance of the ancient womb gifts. You should definitely check that out. And then I started doing the league mechanic, getting a lot more of the good womb gifts and getting a lot of currency from that for this farm. I think you could make more maybe if you just skip the league mechanic, but it's also pretty worth it. No, I think it wasn't in this recording, but I had one where I got a double awakening off the league mechanic. And that's just one, like, imagine your ultimatum giving you multiple divs. It's like, yeah, that's really good. A free league mechanic that's in every map. Even when you hit the ancient womb gift and you get like 45C, it's a 45C free league mechanic that you didn't have to do anything. You didn't juice it, you didn't do anything, no tree points. It's just free in every area, and you mostly set it up just by clearing the rest of the map anyways. I still skip High Fortress because it's really annoying, but I'll do the unstable breach, and I'll do the breach like tower defense that doesn't have towers. The like defend Aelith one, yeah. That's where T17s are actually pretty good, quite rewarding. Especially, I'm still running the Righteous Fire to pop the barrels on the T17s. The biggest differences are no longer running the Elder Scarab, so no longer wasting a Scarab slot on T17s, and then actually running some better Scarabs, like the Adversaries, to duplicate the rares in the map, and then get more rares. And you see how there's two of those dudes right there? That's crazy, right? And then technically you could have it where it explodes one and kills the other with our Animate Guardian explode, so it's really sick. And then, yeah, this farm was like 30D per hour again, and I honestly had a lot of points where I was chilling because we're getting late into the league where I'm slowing down a bit. Yeah, but it was especially just chilling, you know, not that it's a bad thing. It's just more enjoying myself and not rushing to the absolute maximum, but still going at a decent pace. And then in my previous ones, when I was running the 1 hour of the maps, I actually would zoom through and not worry about clearing all the packs. But here I was actually like slowing down on packs and just clearing a little bit more thoroughly, even though I actually mostly full cleared running fast through them. I just, for some reason, was going a bit slower in this, I could tell, even when I was doing it. And now looking at it, it's like, dude, I'm stopping a lot to just for no reason, literally, because I could just run through and things would all die, but I like to watch them die. I don't know why. Judge me, it's fine. And yeah, league's going good. We're still printing. They've been dumping locks into another focus dummy. I hit that +4/+4 zombie and skills, and I have my 16 zombies, and then I've already crafted another one. I'll put that in the new video, don't worry, I'll put all the crafting, and I'm just trying to lock it to get something good. I haven't hit it yet. I don't want to spoil on how many I've used yet, but you can imagine I've been farming every day, and been trying to get this success. I'm actually at like 10.8 million kills. And my playtime is 25 days, and I have like 719 deaths. So yeah, not too many deaths for how much I've played, really. I remember there was a time when I got like 1,000 in Delve, and I only made it to like 600 Delve back in the day, maybe even like 400. It wasn't even that deep, but that was way back in the day when Delve was so turbo hard, and especially like, oh, a reality fragment, I'm rich. We were printing in this farm. Absolutely printing. And like I say, I can't believe the Elder Scarab doesn't do anything on T17s. It's actually mind-blowing and kind of doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. Well, it's not that it doesn't do anything. It does give you Elder Influence items. But then the fact that it doesn't spawn the portals, I still don't really know why. It doesn't really make sense to me. The logic apparently was that you can't have things that add monsters. You can only modify the monsters that are in the map, and that's where contains works and increased pack size works. So like contains Hunted Traitors, contains additional packs with mirrored rares. It's really just mirroring the rares that are already in the map, and the increased magic pack size and increased influence pack size from the Scarab of Hordes. And then obviously from this change, I was also able to take out the points of the extra pack size of the Elder on the tree. And then I took all the Scarab chance now. And I think there was one other thing I had done. I had experimented with taking the middle ring for item quantity, but I took it out because 6 points to get 3 quant, it's like 1.5. I mean, a half per point. 1.5 from 6 points. I mean, sorry, 3 from 6 points, half per point, yeah. And then I instead just took Chittering Champions, which it's funny because a viewer actually asked me, Ethan, why don't you take Chittering Champions? And I was like, well, if I do like 16 maps in an hour, then it's like, well, because it's a 25% chance of getting a Scarab from the boss, it would be like getting 4 Scarabs. But then I guess you have the increased chance of Scarabs from the boss, and then you have just in general it could drop Scarabs, and you have the more the less common Scarab node as well, and then you have the increased Scarabs, so maybe it could be more than the 4 that you would think. So I tried taking that. It's only a single point anyways, and I guess you get some extra Scarabs. And then the other one was where, like, what do you path through in the middle of the Atlas tree to get the extra quant? Do you take the extra essence? Then I have to click on the essence to summon that rare. And then the funny thing with that is I actually played on a controller for a bit, not in this vid, but in general. My wrist was hurting, so I swapped to my clicking, like, wrist and fingers were hurting from mouse, so I switched to a controller for a bit, and I noticed that you could one click an essence open with the controller, which really like kind of tilted me because it takes like 3 clicks on mouse and keyboard to open up an essence, and I've never understood why it wasn't just one. Like, are you worried that someone's gonna misclick an essence and kill themselves? So that you have to make it take 3 clicks to be able to open an essence on the mouse and keyboard, but then on a controller, it's okay if they accidentally open it by click, because they have to click it. It's not the movement button, where the movement button is the one that would open the thing. And then, yeah, I also noticed that you can't rebind your left click on PoE. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you could move with W? You move around with your mouse, and then you click, you could click another button to interact with where your mouse is, instead of having to left click every time. Like, what if I could right click, or what if I could click E, so then I'm using my other hand to move and to activate stuff to interact with things? Doesn't that just make sense? Because that's how a controller works. That's where I learned some things from doing the controller, where it's like, oh, some of this could be different, but then maybe it's better. But then I think the best would be that if you had the choices, the option to just change it on mouse and keyboard would be the best of both worlds, because then you still have your left click, move and interact, or you could mess around and change it. It'd be really nice. Yeah. Yeah, these maps are so juicy. T17s with its high pack size, high quant, high rarity. So many of the Eater altars, it's actually insane. And then, yeah, the farms have just been printing. And then it's funny how my farms were already good, and I actually was wasting a Scarab, so it just got even better. How did it not work, man? I don't know. No one even said anything either. No comment ever said that the Elder Scarab doesn't work, or that the Shaper and Elder don't work, right? It's kind of mind-blowing. How did nobody know? Nobody called me out. Nobody flamed me for it. It's surprising. This one had block, so watch the map boss. We use the block chance reduction support on our Spectres and the carry-on golem, so it removes the block from the boss, and then you could see how he just starts melting so quickly because we removed the block, and then he doesn't have any, and then there's like no tank mods after that. Easy. And you constantly keep seeing me get like 3 fragments from the boss, so I started to think, like, does the amount of rares in the map affect how many fragments your boss gives you? I'm not sure, but it did feel pretty rewarding. Maybe I was just getting lucky. I'm not sure. How has the season been for you guys? How have you been having a good time? Are you playing T17s? For most people I've talked to, they aren't even playing T17s. They're just playing whatever they would like, and they don't like T17s, so they don't farm them. That's like the majority of people. Actually, every single person I've talked to. Even though I personally think this T17s are very rewarding and undeniably like insane diff per hour, most people know that they could be making more and just say that they don't like T17s and aren't farming them. So it is what it is. I can't force you. I don't do what you like. Don't worry. Don't feel like you're missing out. Um, don't worry about it. 'Cause if you play it, but you play for less, you actually could make less because even though you could make more if you actually played it for... Ooh, containment, I'm rich. For some reason my audio is broken in the thing right now. I don't know why. That's weird. I think in some of the parts I took a break and then I started doing it again, and then I didn't have my audio enabled right away, but then I fixed it like halfway through. But I still called out the drops. Yeah, and then even early you could see like I was getting a ton of Scarabs every map. And this is with a really strict filter. Oh, this is where I fixed the audio. Yeah, it was on speaker and not cable input, and the cable input is through a voice meter to convert it to the speaker, so I can still hear it while cable input goes to my recording so you guys can hear it. It's to separate the audio so I can listen to music while I'm doing the farm and not put it on the video, but then I can still have the game audio for both me and the uh, and the recording. And then the other thing, I actually enable the game audio for you guys for the game while I'm doing these videos. I don't normally play with like sound effects and the music and the dialogue and all this and the ambient. I mostly just play with loot filter sounds and chat sounds. But I enable it just for you guys. It's pretty fun. But yeah, you could see how many videos I've posted of doing T17s. I actually had another one where I did the 100% currency, but then like I did more currency for an entire hour. Well, I did many hours of this, to be honest, that I haven't posted, but the ones that I recorded an hour of the more currency and I was going to post it, but it has the Elder Scarab, and so this is just a better version of that because I actually figured out the Elder Scarab thing. And it's like I just keep finding things back to back to back every day. I feel like I find something new, and it's like, how does it keep getting better? It was already good, dude. It's already good, and I keep improving it. It's that min-maxing, dude. We're at that state. It's fun as shit. It's so good. How good is it? Yes. Yes. How many divs is it? Yup. Oh man, the mirror's coming. You'll see. You'll see. This farm is actually crazy. It doesn't even have the more Scarab, and you get so many Scarabs still. And that's where even when you do the more Scarab, you still get quite a bit of currency. It's not like because you don't run the mod, you don't get any currency or Scarabs. No, you still get a lot. It's just you definitely get like double when you're doing one of those two mods, and you get double of whichever one you specifically targeted that time. Is there anything that you guys think I should try? You made it to this part and you're thinking like, Ethan, why haven't you tried this? What about this? Have you found anything you want to share that you know that I'll make a video about and leak? And so that, just be warned that if you tell me and it's good, that I might make a video and I might ruin it. So maybe don't share something you don't want public. But if you don't care, or like you're done or whatever, and you just want to maybe see it made as content or a video, then you know, let me know. What are you interested in? What do you want to see? Even maybe sometimes if it isn't good, or maybe you think it's good, don't like stress too much about it, and just instead maybe mention it, and then maybe I'll reply and give my feedback, or even try it, or maybe I'll post a video if you're into that kind of thing. You don't have to, no pressure. I love you guys either way. Again, if you didn't see my previous vid, I said at the end, thanks so much for all the support on my video about the streaming. I really appreciate it. You guys mean a lot, and I read the comments, and you guys are really great. I really appreciate you, and thanks for everyone and anyone who financially supported on the video. I got some super chats, and I really appreciate it. It means a lot, especially with not streaming. Ooh, harvest Scarab on the Eater altar. Ready? I think it's at the end of the map though, so I don't get that much. There are so many times where I just pause and chill. I was definitely not going the fastest you could possibly go. But also, like, I had said it in my first time I made this kind of video, the 1 hour of farming. I don't expect people to be able to play at the max speed all the time and keep it up and not burn out. So the speed that I go at, even if I go at my fastest, right, then it like may not even be that representative of the actual like what people will really do to not burn out. Because yeah, going max speed all the time, then it could be a little much for some people, and especially if your build isn't at the exact same spot as me because I'm at 16 zombies. Or what if you're not playing my build, and like what if you don't have righteous fire, and you have to actually open these barrels, for example? You could lose a lot of time to that, and like it just won't feel the same. It also turns out that those cloister scarabs went up in price. People are farming stacked decks. They're like 11 per D. 11 for a D. The Regency Scarabs, the Harbinger Regency was like, it's the King Harpy one, 7 to a D. It's like, what? Dude, not very many Scarabs to get Divine Orbs. That's where the Scarabs are worth so much money, and that's why the more Scarabs is technically more valuable probably than the more currency, especially it actually is generally that people pay more for the more Scarab over the more currency. They just are more expensive to buy. And that's where technically it's a downside to make these videos when I have a good farm. Yo, he destroyed me. I get these farms and then I tell everyone about them, and then they buy them and then raise the prices and they ruin it. So it wasn't my reses. He's actually just doing that much damage. He's possessed. He had Fizz as extra AoE, and I had an altar mod that did like extra Fizz as Ellie, and he just popped my ass one shot. It also turns out, a small extra tip, when you're selling most of this stuff, especially the boss fragments, for some reason, most of this stuff people list in chaos and they lose money. In almost every scenario, if you save up enough of them to list them as divine orbs, you make more. From the same amount, you get more profit, more currency. It's just better to do it in divines, and it's almost like what happens is people are lazy when they have divines, and they don't care about getting the absolute maximum for their currency when they're buying them. So they just care about the bulk and the quality of life of like easy, and they don't check the both prices, and so then they just buy in divines and they don't even check the stock of the chaos ones. And it turns out that in most cases the chaos one will have a higher supply because people can list it without having the amount for a div. So when people don't have enough, they'll just list it for chaos to at least get some money out of it if they're not going to farm enough to get a full divine from it, for example. And then that's a pretty good ring. Dude, if you hit a reflecting mist, it's like 20D. The mist from the mist. It's insane. So there's a lot of like high roll things you could get too to make this farm even more insane when you get lucky, but yeah. But yeah, mostly you should farm up enough to list your stuff in divines, and like I say, especially the boss fragments. Basically never list those in chaos. Sometimes the scarabs can be worth it, so it's somewhat worth it to check the comparison value between chaos and divines. And I'll tell you another tip, because I think that a lot of people think to themselves, it's not worth it to check both prices, man. It's a lot of extra effort to check. I already have it on the divine one. I don't want to switch it. I have to put in the different numbers. I have to look at the thing. I might have to pull out a calculator and do some math. No, guys, look. Let me make it even more worth it and more valuable for you. If you have more of an item, so like where it's worth more, so if you saved up your items that you farm and then you sell them, when you do the price check between the two different chaos and divine orbs, the more you have able to sell, the more worth it is, because the more potential profit difference you could find. So if you have a very small amount, I could get it. I can argue with you. I mean, I could agree that I won't argue with you. Sorry, I would agree that it may not be worth it, and you just sell quick and you don't really worry about it because you can't make that much extra since you don't have very many of them. But if you had a large amount, it matters even more because you can make an even bigger difference with your bulk selling into the right one, depending on basically if people are actually listing at a decent price. If they're not, or if there's none available, you can almost set the price of the item and then get way more, a significant amount more, and that could be really worth it. But it depends on you actually having a lot, which then only fits the people who actually farm a lot and don't need the currency right away and can actually sit on it, which is not everybody, I would admit. And so sometimes you do just sell for what you can sell it for. Like if you don't have enough for the divine, then you sell it as chaos. And even that could be really good depending on where you are at in your build, how rich you are, how much you're sitting on, how desperate you are for currency in that moment. Because I know I've had those times where I'm crafting something, I just need a little bit more. If I just got lucky on this goddamn craft, if, like, in my case, if I just get the luck to hit with the mist, boom, I'm done, dude. So, like, I keep dumping them one at a time. I don't, like, save up to an entire mirror, for example. I just keep spending it once I have enough to buy a lock. And so, you could argue, even in my scenario, if I held my stuff longer, if I had bigger supplies of things, if I didn't keep liquidating to get locks, then maybe I could make even more. But also, if, like in the case of Miami, when I actually hit the +4 zombie, it was so sick. I have such a huge damage upgrade. It was really worth it. I'm really happy about it. Giving up my endurance charges for zombies was really cool. And I have died in a few scenarios where I probably wouldn't have died with the endurance charges, but it's fine because we're softcore. We just re-enter the map and we're fast as fuck, and I usually portal in the spots where I know I could die, like the boss room, and so it's fine. And then yeah, the biggest thing is that it is generally worth it to save up your stuff to at least a divine. And then in most cases, it's better to sell as a divine, especially the later we go into the league. It's already worth it, but it gets even better the more lazy people get from playing so much, and the player base kind of changes to like the Giga endgame grinders who don't care about making the maximum from the currency exchange, and they just want to get back to playing the game. So they want to spend as least time as possible trading and doing the like getting resupply, and they just want to get back to grinding, playing, blasting. And then especially some may be actually too rich where they don't care and they just actually, like I say, want to get back to the game. And so then you can make some extra off them since you care and they don't. I had got a reality fragment from the boss. I'm rich. Dude, we were printing. Nemesis Scarabs are so good. And that's where sometimes I gave you the tip for the divine orb, but yeah, it could actually be worth it to sell in chaos if there aren't enough listed, and like you're then the only sale in chaos. You could actually make more sometimes. It really depends. There's also the times where you just have a really weird number amount of something, and in divines it doesn't work out to be more somehow, and you could sell it for more as chaos because of the bulk, if somebody actually buys enough. But in most cases, they're just going to buy in divines and you'll make more money, yeah. It's Scarabs where it can sometimes be chaos is better, and it depends, but most of the time divine. It's also, I think, like, Scarab of Pandemonium, it's somehow better in Chaos. Sometimes the Awakening Scarab is better in Chaos. So, it was... Some of the, like, lower Scarabs could be better in Chaos. Certain things like that were really weird. This farm's insane, though. T17s. Dude, I've been running Fortress. So I wish I had, like, a tracker for how many I've run and all that. I do already have, like I say, the 10.8 million kills, and then I even I have like 8 million gold in the town, and I'm at 19 million gold on me, so I'm at 27 million gold. And some have asked, like, how do I get so much? It's this farm, so many monsters and kills, but it's also the high rarity on T17s gives you higher gold for the same kills. Rarity scales the gold. And so, yeah, you get a lot from T17. So if you're lacking gold to supply your town, your King's March, then I highly recommend actually trying this farm. Just for that, even the extra value in gold will be incredible. Like, I have a surplus. I don't run the mappers, but I do run the farmers and the shippers constantly. I even disenchant sometimes. Get that dust for the recombinating. Really sick farm, though. Again, why, guys, could you comment why the Elder Scarab doesn't work? Do you know? And then, yeah, as you've seen, I most of the time pick quantity. If it's like rarity versus something, I usually pick the other one. Unless it's chromatic orbs, then I'll pick the rarity. A lot of the time, I like to pick my basic currency duplication. I like my Scarab duplication, especially because you get so many good Scarabs from this farm. Also, the div card duplication. This map has the cheater. It's like 4 or 5D. It's really huge. And sometimes you get the eater altars that give you div card basic currency, div card, you know, all those different div cards, and then like the gem ones and stuff, and then you could double those as well. So div card duplication can be pretty good. The cheater is pretty rare, but if you have nothing better to take, it's pretty good. Like right here, div card duplication versus chromatic orb. It was a perfect time for it. Wow, I'm so good. It's actually insane. And then, yeah, we've still been running the what's the shit called? Withering Step for the 9 wither stacks when you first enter an area. The Righteous Fire to blow up the barrels. I have calcification. I'm running the 2 Carnage Chieftains and the and the Perfect Forest Warrior for the onslaught and the culling, and then I got that Perfect Dark Reaper back in my build again, because you run maps with Consecrated Ground. You also get Maven, who's healing the boss, like I've said. It's pretty good. And then you see him whizzing around sometimes. He's on multi-strike, so his, like, cyclone-y twirl thing can happen multiple times. He also does the powerful slash multiple times because of the multi-strike. It's pretty cool. Actually pretty sick. Oh, double Risk Scarab, Regency, and an altar, and a Nameless Seer. Yeah, this farm is crazy, dude. It's crazy, but obviously the prices vary constantly. And so which Scarabs are high value, etc. changes. The really valuable ones haven't changed basically all league, but some of these minor ones have been changing constantly every day, every week, because of what people are farming, what people like, etc. Like the Harpies got more expensive, then they went down. The Risk went up and then it went down. People just swap between different farms. Things get a video made about them. They Then we have doing the league mechanic. Yeah, I've been doing the league mechanic throughout this whole vid. Trying to farm those ancient womb gifts. And like I say, they actually sell for like 46C. And then even the lavish and the mysterious sell for quite a bit, like 35C. So it turned the league mechanic pretty good, because it's just chill. You just... there's a fact or a thing, a rule I had before, that with league mechanics, most of the time is actually spent generally in the past finding the league mechanic in the map. You like, let's say you had a whole map and then one league mechanic in the map. Yo, 7 C and an ancient womb gift. Isn't that crazy? 50 C from the league mechanic every map. Think about that. That alone covers your map costs and more, and then all the rest of it's pure profit. It's actually crazy. But then what was I gonna say? I got distracted. God damn it. Was I talking about the league mechanic? What was I saying? It's too late. Rip. I lost my focus. Aelith, why? There's so many altars. Quant. Skipped an altar already. What a sick farm. Highly recommend. If you guys haven't already been playing my T17s, you definitely should. Oh, I was talking about the Scarabs. Yeah, it depends on the farms people are doing. That the prices change and vary, and make the different ones more valuable and whatnot. That's where sometimes it can actually be worth it to hold on to Scarabs, and then wait for them to go up off of somebody doing a farm, and then you get more. Oh, that's really sick. He's dead. That's that more life chaos res boss, and he still gets melted. Even when they have the life as ES, so we just bypass it because we're doing chaos damage. I love it, dude. I actually love it. Are you guys playing zombies, or what build are you playing? That's where I picked basic currency div card for basic currency instead of rarity every time, no matter what. I just didn't see it at first, and I almost picked the rarity. That's where I pick rarity over greater Eldritch Ichors, because I don't even want to pick those up. I think they're filtered. Scarab duplication? Dude. Do you see how many altars I get? Isn't this shit crazy? Do you guys get this many altars? Or is my farm actually insane? Another Regency. Every map, multiple Regency, and like I say, 7 to 1D. What? That's insane. Only 7? Yeah. Harbies? Do your king Harby farm? Really chill farm. I actually walked around for that tiny little patch I was missing. There were some barrels there too I missed. But yo, it was actually like 5 monsters. I walked all the way, backtracked just for that. You can see where there's a lot of times where I did not do the most time efficient for making the most this vid, but I still made a lot, and it was like just trying to get the most per map, which is unlike me. I don't know, I was feeling diff when I was making this vid, and like I was going slower and everything. It is what it is. I kept pausing, kept stopping, took a break in between even. Yeah. The farm's actually insane though. Highly recommend. And then it even works, these farms on the T17s work pretty well with the controller. The one thing I noticed of a downside of a controller was when you have to deal with your stash. If you have to deal with your stash, it's aids because navigating through the Scarab tab to take out some Scarabs to re-Scarab up is insane because there's so many and you have to tab over like with the mouse stick or joystick and the or the pad. It could be really weird. There's also when you get an altar, the altar starts minimized, an eater altar, and then you have to click A to enable the eater altar, and then it actually is clickable, and then it's X or Y for the case of an Xbox controller, which can be pretty weird. I got a Regency from the League mechanic. It could print some pretty good Scarabs, like I mentioned. It's not bad. And then I wasn't even doing the tree. I was just the no blood. I was just farming the in-map League mechanic. It was pretty good. And I noticed with these Searing Exarch runes, they seem to disappear after some time or something. They don't stay there forever. They get activated and then disappear or something. It's pretty cool. And they're also not in the boss room. It's really sick. Not that bad of a mod for what it is. 71 pack size. Oh man, do you see that Hunted Traitors where they're fighting each other and not hitting you? I love that Scarab. So satisfying. So good for the survivability. Also, not running shrines is actually interesting. Not buffing the monsters with shrines to have giga knockback and whatnot. Giving them the acceleration shrine or the spell echo. Man, that shit could be really rippy, and then to not have those, pretty nice actually. You're obviously missing the buffs from the shrines, but to not buff the monsters is actually sick. So I've come a long way. Not running shrines, not running elder, juiced my T17s extreme while still being an extremely cheap farm and highly profitable. One other thing I've noticed that's a downside of this probably is that because of my juicing the amount of influence pack size with the horde scarab and magic monsters and the rares, you actually get more of the eater altars. And so if you don't have your build where you can handle every single eater altar mod, you will make this extremely more rippy by deleting your cold and lightning res, giving all that fizz as LE, deleting your physical damage reduction, your defenses, your recovery rate if you have endurance charges, your recovery rate of life, etc. There's so many insane eater mods that I build for that my build is safe to run without getting destroyed, but it could be really tough for people if they haven't covered all the bases. And then especially like when I'm saying that you're getting more, so then you're more consistently deleting all those stats, all that resistance and stuff. Like just having some less resistances so you couldn't cap to your 90%, it basically makes it so you don't even have 90% in that LE. So that's where you definitely want to have the extra cold and lightning to be able to still cap to 90 even after deleting your resistances with the altars. You also have to account for reduced effective auras, the elemental weakness because you're not curse immune. There's a lot of stuff. Since you're hitting so many more mods as well if you're running 8 mod maps. And then if you want to be able to run more map mods because then you get to run more maps without having to skip mods, which then they could be cheaper because then you have a bigger map pool supply, especially if you roll your own maps, because let's say you want the Scarab mod and you found them too expensive, because sometimes the Scarab mod could be more expensive than a not corrupted map, so you could actually just get your own T17 fortresses, chisel them up, roll them yourself, and look for like the more Scarab or more currency. Mostly more Scarab if you're doing that, and then you want to be able to obviously run more map mods and not have to roll as much and not have to skip over when you get a nice more Scarab one, because that would suck. And then that's where I say the mods for more Scarab, the ones that come with more Scarab and more currency, are safe, so I don't have to really worry about it, and I could tell you to prioritize those ones and it's fine and it's good. And then that really makes the farm that much better if you're not spending too much extra, or if you're not spending anything extra on getting these maps, and you're just getting, like I say, more currency and more scarabs. It's actually huge. This might have been too in depth, too much specific for some people. Might have already turned it off. Bro, look at this, Mom. Flesh puppet. It's literally the metamorph zombie skin. What the hell? What the hell? Flesh puppet. Flesh puppet. Oh my god, dude. How did he live even? Like, it was a bugged mob, I think. He just couldn't die. I was supposed to see that. Flesh puppet, the metamorph zombie. God damn it, dude. That skin is sick, though. Do you hear the sound of the robots when they die? This shit's literally heist. Volatile cores, and you have double the rares. You get so many volatile cores. This mod could be so rippy running adversaries. The Scarab of Adversaries doubling the rares. It's actually insane. Look at how many volatile cores. I could tank one, but can I tank 3 of them? The answer will surprise you. Or not. Maybe you won't be surprised. Maybe you know. I'm pretty sure it's this map where I stopped for a second and took like 3 of them. So I guess we'll see that in a little bit. I'm pretty sure it was this one, because there was just so many, and I think I went to loot, or it was the league mechanic. I was doing Aleph, and then I stop, and I die to volatile core. I'm spoiling, but I'm remembering. I'm like, yo, is it this one? Or it was the one where I didn't record it, because I was telling you how I did some, and I got the league mechanic to give me like 2 awakening scarabs, but I wasn't recording it, so it's not in this. I'll just tell you about it. The league mechanic with all this all these improvements I made to my farms, and even, like I say, targeting. This is the more scarab one. You can see how I had a mix of more scarab and more currency. It was just dependent on what was cheapest on trade. And when a more scarab is cheaper or the same price, trust me, the more scarab is sick. The more scarab is sick. It's just, yeah, they're normally more expensive. Like, I was getting, on average, the more currencies for 40C, for example. Maybe even cheaper. Where the Scarab should have been, like, 50C. So, yeah, it was, like, 25% more just for the one mod, which is pretty crazy. But it is a lot more rewarding for Scarabs. I generally think they're pretty close, that the more Scarab or more currency is pretty equal, especially if you consider the mirror. The more Scarab won't get you a really high drop, but you obviously also won't hit the jackpot. You won't get the mirror often, and if you never hit it, then you never got that extra value. But if you do hit it, then you got the whale, and you won, and you could feed your family for the entire season. But yeah, it's all about if you actually hit the mirror or not, or if you actually play enough. If you don't, then you would want the more consistent currency with just going more Scarabs. But if you could hit the mirror, then holy, it's so worth it to do the more currency. Look at that Varun damage. He's dead. It was not this one that I died to volatile cores then. It was another one. Maybe I wasn't even recording then. I don't think I think I wasn't recording, so I didn't spoil anything. I think it was all in that one farmer session where I was just testing it at the beginning, and I wasn't used to it yet, and this was after I had already had that experience of how rippy the volatile cores was. Yeah, I was dodging them. I only took one at a time. Nice. They are pretty rippy though. Pretty crazy. And it's only on the rare monsters, but like I say, I doubled the rare monsters on the map. That's why there's so many of them. And I wasn't used to this because I wasn't doing this all league. I hadn't really been running adversaries. They're really cheap too, like I say. For some reason they're like 4 to a C, 4 to 1 chaos. It makes no sense. They're like one of the cheap scarabs while being one of the coolest. Really rewarding. And the fact that they actually work on a T17. No way, dude. You really feel it. You see them. You notice all the extra rares. It doesn't work on some of them, I've noticed. Like the ones on the walls don't get doubled. Like I said, the ones at the end of the league mechanic and the unstable breach doesn't work. Certain rares don't get doubled, but then yeah, that's one of those ones where I picked basic the div card for basic currency instead of the div card duplication because of how rare the div cards are on the map. Unless I already have some good div card for like basic currency, tons of them for example, or the gem ones, I'm not likely going to just pick the div card duplication over it because I don't expect to hit the cheater. It just is what it is. It's too rare. But when you hit it, oh my god, 5D, dude, I'm rich, you know? That's where this one, I didn't even have anything insanely lucky. No big drop while I was still making like 30D per hours and going slow. So yeah, the farm's insane. And you will get lucky if you keep playing it. And then it'll really raise the divine per hour when you account for the extra reflecting miss, the extra nameless seer, the extra your sentinel, your high rolling of a bunch of things if you keep playing enough to get a mirror. Ancient womb gift from the league mechanic in the boss room. And cloisters, yo. And I told you the cloisters were like 11 for a divine. It's actually insane. The price of divines also changed over time. It was like 190 at one point, and then it came down to like 160, 170 again. So yeah, prices just keep varying depending on the player base and what's popular and what's been happening and what people are doing and meta crafting or a certain farm, what people are farming, to what they're supplying, where the player base is at, who's playing. Because it's like, what do the people like to farm? What are the people farming? What do they play? Also, the what they end up needing. Yeah, what they use. Definitely. See, I picked rarity because orb of fusing. Like, I'm not gonna pick the fusing. Never. I'm gonna pick that rarity. And the rarity's not bad. You get some extra unique. So I see a lot of leather belts, heavy belts. I've hit Rakiata's Impatience. Is that what it's called? The boot with, and I got endurance charges, and that was like 2D. Because I rolled 20 chaos res on it. It was pretty good, and I think it sold. So yeah, it's not that bad. Especially you could even just get some decent uniques for the for like T0, T1 to get the dust, because you disenchant high tier rares. I mean uniques for dust, high dust. There was also the amulet from the boss, Yoke of Suffering. It actually dusts with quality with catalyst on it for 800,000, and that's why it has such high value. So yeah, you can actually just technically you could if you wanted, instead of selling them. They're worth a lot to sell too. It's like 170C, basically a divine for the Yoke of Sufferings. So it makes it 800k dust per D. It's not the best, so, but you could, if you're lazy and don't want to sell them, you could just dust them yourself. It's an option. I will mention that part of the video, I didn't put it on the recording, me stashing the loot, but I did, and then I guess I cut out that by accident. I realized after, but I just had to go to the bathroom or something, so I paused it and I put my loot in and I moved the maps to my inventory, but I didn't have that on the recording, so I technically cheated some time. But then, like I say, I wasn't going at the maximum speed anyways, and I wasn't playing the fastest either. I actually don't know why I'm spamming portals on this map, because it's not even rippy when I'm looking at the mods. I think I was tilted from another one, and I was worried about dying. I don't know. Or I was fresh right after taking the break, and I was just having some extra energy to put some extra portals down. I also, as you saw, I run into the back of the boss room. It's funny to mention this now, but I run into the back of the boss room every time just to teleport my minions in, because they get stuck on the door because of the door closes on them as they're following me, and then I want them to teleport, so I have to go out of range, and then they teleport. It's like 120 units, so 12 meters, so it's like 2 screens, and then they teleport. 2 of my screens, like the edge of my screen, and then double that. So it's not the full left to right, it's from the middle to the right, and then it's like double that. So it's basically like a full screen from left to right of my screen. Yeah, and then that would be like 12 meters. 120 units. If people even make it to this far in the video. Hey, if you've made it to this far in the video, comment moose. And then I'll know if you made it to this far in the video. Because who's going to skip to this part just to comment moose, right? So if you've actually made it to this part, then I'll know. And then when people see moose in the comment section, they'll be like, why are people commenting moose? And they won't get it. Don't spoil it. Don't link to the timestamp of this time to type moose. Just type moose. Oh, I'm just curious if I'm actually going to get any mooses. If I see no moose, dude, no one watched this far and it didn't matter anyways. Damn. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, maybe you guys stayed because I kept talking throughout it. Sometimes I feel like when I did the other ones and I stopped talking halfway through, that's when it got boring. You didn't want to just see me grinding, but you like when I'm talking and adding extra shit to it because you might learn something. But when I stop, it's like, oh, video's over. Ethan's out. I'm out. Maybe. We will be best friends, bees. Whoa, slaughter them. True. But we need the craft, dude. We need the craft. The Phenomenal Plague Arachnid, the split, my focus. True. Scarab dupe. Oh, also, here's another, if you made it to this far in the vid. I started to do the rest of the map, as you've noticed, probably. Maybe. Some might have noticed. I started doing the rest of the map and doing it in a loop that I would finish at the league mechanic, because you very easily can tell where the league mechanic is, and it would be beneficial to do the rest of the map first, get all the altars, get all the duplication, all the extra quantity, the extra rarity, the extra stuff, and then doing the league mechanic after, so that you could juice it the maximum with the altars, the eater altars, and then get more from your league mechanic. And that's where I was saying, when I was testing it, I actually got a double of, or I think it was after the vid actually, when I got the awakening and I wasn't recording. It wasn't before, because I would have mentioned, like, I would have already had it preemptive before this vid, but yeah, I did it after. Double awakening scarab was a duplication, I'm pretty sure, and it's because I did the altars before I do the league mechanics. You actually get more to the league mechanic, making it even more worth it. So you actually can juice the league mechanic, but it's with eater altars and the map mods and the scarabs, kind of. Yeah. This is the end of the vid. If you guys have ever realized that the Elder and Shaper Scarab don't work on T17s, like the video. And if you guys like the video and you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys, and hit that bell to get notifications. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye! Oh, there it is! The double pandemonium! It was this! It was in the vid! Okay, GG. Bye!